Okay, today's video is a really important one for all of you that are working with a production music library. If you are, and you've got a relationship with one, please do yourself and your library owner a favor by sending them this video. And if you are a library owner, you're definitely going to want to watch this anyways. What has recently been going on, as I have suspected, and we have no confirmation of, but the writing's on the wall, is a lot of generative AI companies, especially music generative AI companies, have been likely scraping the internet of any type of music they can get their hands on, whether it's copyright or not copyrighted, and have been not asking for permission and not compensating those copyright owners for training their models. And now some of these companies are coming out with for-profit AI music generators. So needless to say, this is creating a lot of anxiety for those of us that are copyright holders, those of us that are music publishers, and that are just music creators in general. So what this new development that I just became aware of, is something that the Production Music Association has been fully endorsing and is now recommending, or at least promoting and sharing with all of its library and publisher partners. So chances are a lot of your library partners might already be aware of this. But I'm at least in this video going to give you my take on why I think this is a good step forward. It's not the only step forward we're going to be taking. It's not the end all be all, okay? But we do need to take any sort of advantage that we possibly can and defend our rights in any possible manner that we possibly can, especially since all of this is murky, all the legal landscape that we are in right now in terms of copyright, fair use, training AI models, all of this stuff. It still remains to be seen how we're going to do it. But this is, I think, a step in the right direction. So what this is, it's called Music Rights and AI, and you can go to it at rights@ai.com. This is definitely for music publishers. So if you guys are composers, this is not necessarily something that you're going to want to be able to fill out or represent. This is for production music libraries, which are basically publishers. So this is the International Coalition of Music Publishers that helped put this together. And it's backed by basically all of the big boys in our industry. So you've got Universal, Sony, Warner Chappell, Concord, etc., BMG. So basically, almost everybody who is anybody in our industry is backing this and a part of this. Essentially, what this is in a nutshell, it's a public declaration of our rights as copyright holders, as publishers, and also us basically explicitly in a public database saying we do not grant permission for unauthorized data scraping and AI model training of our music, of the music that's in our catalogs, which many of which, especially in the production music library world, are on public websites, right? Some libraries have it behind paywalls or behind, rather password walls, but a lot, many, 90% plus, are just publicly out there, which means that AI companies can, if they're technically able to, will and try and maybe already have trained off of a lot of our music. So this is not necessarily something that's going to stop AI companies from training off of our music unauthorized, but what this is going to do is give us some fuel for any potential lawsuits that we have to fight in the future, okay? The one thing that a lot of visual artists didn't have when models like Midjourney and DALL-E came out and they were able to generate AI art trained off of basically every image they could find on the internet, is there was no public database like this that existed for all visual artists that said, hey, we are rights holders. This is what we're granting the public general use for in our art and our visuals and our paintings and our digital photography and all this stuff. Here's what we're not allowing anybody to do. And they didn't have the time to prepare for something like this because they were basically first on the chopping block and they were the first set of data that AI models could train off of. So we are fortunate that we had a little bit of leg room before AI generative technology could get to the point where it's making human level music, but we're basically there right now. So this is some step that we're going to need to take to basically have a public database for every music publisher that wants to be a part of this, to basically at least have something online that specifically and clearly states, and there's actually a whole declaration here. You guys can read that if you want to. There's a link below if you want to check it out. But there's this long declaration of basically what we are saying we allow, what we don't allow. And again, this is not going to stop an AI model from training anything. But if and when, it's more likely when, there's going to be lawsuits and challenges and publishers claiming that maybe somebody has trained off of their data, this is going to be a very crucial part of any legal litigation moving forward, is to say that there was a public database that specifically stated what we accept from public use of our music or consumption of our rights and what is not okay. So that these AI companies cannot say, well, nobody said we couldn't do this, so therefore that's why we moved forward. Now there can be no claim of ignorance of the fact that there were definitely some barriers put up by the rights holders. Whether or not this is going to hold up in court, again, that's in the future. Nobody knows that. But even if we have a small chance to basically stand up and hold on to our rights, we should be taking every advantage that we possibly can. So what you can do if you want to have your library partner check this out is there is this link right here called Supporting Data, which will basically give you an Excel spreadsheet, which actually lists every single publisher that is signed up for this. And there's a lot of them, as you can see here. So if you've your library partner, or if you are a library owner watching this, you want to add your company to this list, there is a CSV file that you can basically download, complete, put your information about your company in there, and email to them to be added to this list to basically say, I'm agreeing to this declaration as well. I want to be included in this, and I want my rights to be upheld, so that if your catalog gets trained on unauthorized by an AI company in the near future, or maybe it already has, and a generative model comes out there and they start to crank out high quality music, and you're like, some of that music sounds like my catalog music. This will be definitely something you're going to want in your arsenal. You're going to want this to basically be helping you, and of course, gathering with the other rights holders, the other publishers in the world. So this is a really great step forward. I'm glad the PMA is endorsing it, pushing it out there, and obviously getting the word out. I'm doing my best here on this channel to do it as well. Behind the scenes, I am definitely doing a sort of kind of a private push for more education on this with the library owners and publishers that I've had personal relationships with, mostly for a couple of reasons. One, I am a sync licensing producer. I still earn my royalties through this industry, so I have personal interest in this. I want my royalties to be protected and my future opportunities. But of course, I feel like I in some way represent all of our collective interests as music creators and people that are trying to do well in sync licensing. So I do feel a responsibility to kind of speak up and do whatever I can in my little corner of this industry to try to help push and promote this education and kind of fight back for our rights. So anyways, across the board, the battle has just begun, guys. We are far too early to know how things are going to turn out. I do know that there is a little bit of sentiment of kind of giving up already out there that I've heard of people just kind of waving the white flag and going, it's too late. They've already data scraped. They've already taken your data. Nothing's going to stop it now. I totally understand that, but at the same time, even if that's the case, I'm still going to fight, guys. And hopefully I can get a lot of you guys to join in on with me and just push back in any possible, even small ways that we possibly can, helping to shape the narrative in our favor to make sure that we are being included on this really great, amazing technological revolution that we're a part of. But I think anybody giving up already at this point, when we haven't even had an official ruling yet from the courts about is this fair use or not, can AI companies train off of publicly available data? Is that a sort of an okay way to learn off of copyright information? Is that going to be something that's excluded as fair use? We don't even know that yet. There's so many lawsuits and so many things happening. So we're basically at the very, very beginning stages of this entire play or movie or plot or whatever you want to call it. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. I got my head in this game. I'm definitely following along, and that's what I'm going to keep doing on my channel. Some weeks I'm going to have a lot more updates for you than others if there's not really much happening. But this month it feels like AI really kind of is creeping into our world very, very quickly. So this is definitely a time where I'm going to spend a lot of my time and focus kind of updating you on this, guys. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, or if you are a library owner and you want to maybe talk to me privately or email me privately, hit me up, jesse@syncmymusic.com. I'm available. I'm here to kind of, look out for all of our collective interests and help educate any way I possibly can. I'm not an AI expert, but as many of you have been following me for the last year, it's something I've been definitely diving into and talking to a lot of, AI experts about what's possible, what's not possible with these technologies. So I feel like I have a lot to offer here, and I would like to help in any possible way that I can.